다가상한조 당한조 코와로 코리아기 유조세나 네 되샤 셰다 디모숨디레스 지상도 자다 되샤 셰다 디모숨디 나가서 자원원이 디 되샤 셰다 디모숨디레 지난 디기 마줄야 체텔이야 안디지게 장마기와 미šan다 마기와 소야다 라신이가 기원에 와서야 안디기 왕기 개와 량한바 사는 개와 치마 마소 냐와이다 둔절기는 동아바도 매바 용고야다 아니게시 디왕게 코와 달하나 미개와 렘바이나 덴델이야 동아 용고야 어디네 차고 지상 정원에 대다 되샤시다 디모숨들이스 데네 자당아 좀 델이야 다디 저기 님보된제 매바서 오래서 가상 저기 다 디고르시네 먼저 되샤당 안에 셰당 디수기 야 안지기 매바서 타고 가상 디고르시로당서.
Good morning. In our previous session, we spoke about the primary causes of what keeps us bound within the suffering realms of samsara, and that is the three poisons of ignorance, of attachment, and of anger. And moreover, we spoke about how the afflicted minds, particularly these, but the afflicted minds in general too, are our actual enemies. These are our true enemies, because it's these that cause us harm. They harm us by their mere presence in this life, their mere arisal in this life. And through their mere arisal within us, indirectly harm is brought to others. And certainly when we act under their influence, harm is brought to others. And they don't only cause harm to ourselves and others in this life, but due to the karma that is accumulated due to their mere presence. And of course, when we act under their influence, that karma ripens in our future lives, and if it propels a rebirth, non-virtuous karma will only lead to rebirth in the suffering lower realms. And if that this negative karma ripens during a lifetime, even where we have achieved a rebirth in a pleasant migration, such as a human or a god, this karma that's accumulated by these afflicted minds ripens in suffering experiences, all our suffering experiences. So what we have been looking at is that our true enemy are these afflicted minds, and it's these and these only that we should be fearing. And to eliminate them, we need to rely on their antidotes. And today we'll come to the third of the three root poisons, having looked at first in the 20th practice that of transforming anger, and the 21st that of transforming attachment into the path. Now we come to the bodhisattva practice of dealing skillfully with ignorance.
That's it. Jideran Nawa Dida Rangisem Semni Denim Trebe Tadanchal Dini Shene Sonsin Tsemanam Yila Meji Geshe Lalins.
All that appears is but your own mind. Mind itself is naturally free from the extreme of fabrications. Understanding this, not engaging with inherent signs of apprehender and apprehended, is the practice of bodhisattvas. And that then is the 22nd practice.
Chue Ganesh Nawa and Su Tratiro La Sopa, Chue Ganesh Rala Yana do, and the Ganesh Nangors, or Gala Tuba Maba, Rangumani, Juba the Nangores. Chizan Chidera Nawa Nashin, Ranglang, Gala Tuba Ranguni, Chida Nawa Nashin, De, Tara, Res and Zimbe Zimbatella, the Timutin since I tell a word, Chida Nawa, Dida Rangi Sems.
amongst the three poisons, that of ignorance, attachment, and anger. We now come to ignorance. In ignorance, there are many types, and sometimes it can be translated as confusion. Here, the ignorance that is the ignorance of the three poisons is the ignorance that grasps at inherent existence, or to express it differently, the ignorance that grasps at true existence. So that is the particular ignorance that is referred to when we refer to the three poisons, and when we talk about the root cause of all the afflicted minds, the root cause of samsara, the root cause of all our suffering. It is this ignorance, the ignorance that grasps at true existence. Looking then at the first line of the 22nd practice, all that appears is but your own mind. So this then refers to every phenomenon that appears to our mind, whether it's an outer phenomenon such as form, or any other kind of phenomenon. Every object that is the object that appears to our mind appears in a particular way. It appears as if it exists in the way that it appears. In other words, it appears as if it is true, that the way it appears is how it exists. And to express that slightly differently, the way that each and every object appears is as if it exists by its own inherent nature or its own true nature. And then the mind that grasps at the object as is, believing that it exists in the way that it appears, is the ignorance that is being referred to here. It's the ignorance that grasps at the object as existing in the way that it appears, as existing truly, as existing inherently. That is the ignorance that is the root cause of all our suffering.
and Rashi Modi, Rashi Madrupadi, Delam Matonwachi, then Miglonwa Nashi, Chugi, Rashi de Tungu, Matonwa, then Denigi, Nawanashi, Demodruba Sintior, Norn Sintior. Then they need to be Lodi, Lo Shere, Cesade, Lo Nurturis, Lo Truaris, or
all phenomena appear to us, appear to our mind, as if they are truly existent, to use some synonyms, existent by way of their own defining characteristics, existent by way of their own inherent nature or inherently existent, or self-existent. Then a mind grasps at the phenomenon as believing that they exist in the way that it appears. And this mind is ignorance. And it's grasping at the phenomenon as being truly existent or inherently existent or existing by way of its own defining characteristics or as being self-existent. So this is a mind of ignorance. Why so? Because it is a wrong consciousness. It is a mistaken consciousness. Why is this said to be a mind of ignorance? Why is it said to be a wrong consciousness or a mistaken consciousness? It is because it doesn't realize that phenomena do not exist in the way that they appear. It doesn't realize that phenomena are empty of existing in the way that they appear. It doesn't realize that this particular phenomena that appears to be truly existent is empty of true existence. This particular phenomenon that appears to be inherently existent is empty of inherent existence. And therefore not realizing the emptiness of inherent existence, but rather grasping at the phenomena as being truly existent. This consciousness is a wrong consciousness, a mistaken consciousness, and therefore is an ignorance.
Penang to Milam Nalia, Nilam Nalia, Chikangba Yabu, Saje Yabu, Chiton to get Nilam Tod, when Rashi, when Nashi Kangba, then when Tongo or Nilam Nikaso. 이내 다니 세시 만주게 대신이는 나 통화나 신지 강바당 사지디 두에 민두스 제바이나 유니 통화 메르와 지자디 다 니람게 내가 나로래 니쿠이 니람 통화도 강바당 근데 지게 메도돔라다 지신이다 되네지 지게 조봉 오신바 가래 통외네 다 니세 때도 문에 통화요 말다 지자 니람 나래 나와 잠마도 문에라 통화 메딩에 책으로 어베디나신 마라줄야 아니 최 간에스 나와이네 데니게 마릭 베텐진 나도 갈라 최 간에스 나다 강갈라 뭐되바 랑고 문에 두바 능고르데 당하저 그 심주치제 제와치세 나와 나신치 가호두스네 제와치네 제바이나 데니게 랑문에 두바 나와 나신치 자오이네 예요 말레스 제자 디네 제도 가야 만냐바 동상지마도 아니 디 예요 말레스 그래
illustration here which shows this how we make it, an illustration showing this mistake as well as the solution to this would be to think of a dream. So if when one is sleeping and one dreams of one's ideal home in a beautiful environment filled with lovely people, then we have these appearances of a beautiful home in a beautiful environment and various people there. These are objects that appear to our mind. And in our dream, we believe that these are real. And we perhaps experience great joy at this beautiful environment and home. But if we were to step back from these appearances and think, if in our dream we were then to investigate and say, does this beautiful home actually exist in the way that it appears, in this environment and these people? Do they exist in the way that they appear? We wouldn't be able to find them as existing in the way they appear. We'd come to realize that they do not exist in the way that they appear. The way that they appear is not how they exist. And how do we know this? By investigation. We would investigate and we'd see they are empty of existing in the way they appear. Again, all these objects of the dream appear to the consciousness in a particular way. They appear as true, as real. But when we investigate, we find they are empty of existing truly. And this investigating consciousness is a wisdom. And it realizes that the object is empty of true existence.
semni dune zhebe tadang zhalsi. Semni dune zhebe tadang zhalsi de, anda rāngzuli yu nāngā digi chasāng yu digi chirugu yu su zhādri lā sopa chasāng nāngi de, anda rāng mūne zhūpa nāngu de dāshīn chīpe sina nye mēba re. Anda dine mēba ine, anda da semdi, dine ki nāsa yu chen semdi, anda korong anda yoribes, yomares na kisheba ina. Anda Bendigo da nilam na thong du nilam seje de shi nilam na thong ya khangba da de du khangba de nye merwa ina ya nilam gi na de ni gi nilam thong ya gi sheba de ye de ro da sheba yo ro on di na shin che ne chu tham je rang gi ngo ne du ba ma du ba ka sa ka la ma de rang ngo ne du ba na wa di na shi me na yang ande na ya gi sheba khoro yo ra ande sheba khoro da rang ngo ne du ba de rebe la na oda sem sheba dia ane rangon du bazawa gi ne mare so sem ni de ne se de sem khoro yang ane ma zo la da shin che be chena rangon du bazawa gi ne yo mare me ba za sem khoro yang ane da shin che be chena rangon ne ma du ba re.
So hopefully then the first line is clear. So let's look then at the second line. Mind itself is naturally free from the extreme of fabrications. So we've just spoken about how all objects appear to the mind, and objects, whether they are objects of external phenomena or objects of thought, such as views or recollections, whatever the object is that appears to one's mind, it appears in a particular way, but if we examine, we cannot find it. So what about the mind to which these inherently existent objects appear? Because there is a consciousness. For example, an illustration of a dream. In the dream, there was this beautiful home in the lovely environment that appeared to a dream consciousness. So we spoke about then how the objects to that consciousness, in the illustration, a dream, do not exist in the way they appear. But what about then the dream consciousness? So if the dream consciousness then, which was the subject to which the objects appeared, if that dream consciousness then becomes the object and that is investigated, how does that dream consciousness appear? And does it exist in the way that it appears? Or, to take the illustration from the dream, any consciousness to which an object appears, if that consciousness then is made the object and that consciousness is investigated, how does it appear? Does it exist in the way that it appears? And here too, the consciousness appears as if it exists truly, but when one investigates, one cannot find any truly existent consciousness either.
다 심예되네 되베 타당 잘 세다 유 나야게 유 아니 술라 소바 대당 안데 나야게 셈 유나이더 랑원이 두바 강라마드 랑원이 두바 난거래 데네게 낭한 셈다 유차상 간치네 다 치료기 유다 낭게 셈 간치네 제바치네 나와 나신 두에미데 제바치나 강라이 떼바마 랑원이 두바 자와기네 요마데 스트레베 타다 자와레스 스트레베사데 데네 랑원이 두바 자와데 나 자와기네 메바레스 다 안데 랑원이 두바 자와기네 메바이나 아나 Zula Sobadang, and Nayake Simdi, Mebaribelane, Mebamares. Chesa, Kondo Gala, Dubamaba, round when you do but the Mebarete in a Judakin, Shana, Dune Yungore, Dune Duba, Yungres, Chesa, Zawagin Mebamares, Chesa, Tanidu Yavares, Chesa Dinisa, Tripik, Tanita Javas, Chesa Tatan, Chetanita, Javik, Java, Chesa Dus, Javares or them.
All that appears is but your own mind. Mind itself is naturally free from the extreme of fabrications. When we're looking at the first line then, the meaning is that any object that appears to mind appears in a particular way but doesn't exist in this way. And when it's said that it's any object, so that can refer to an object from the external world, such as form, something, a material that we see, or sound that we hear or taste, any such external object, words that are said and so forth, appear as being truly existent, but if we investigate, they don't exist in this way. But this isn't the case only with external objects, it's any phenomenon, any existent. So therefore inner objects as well, and inner objects such as a consciousness, a feeling, an emotion. These, when they are objects, they appear in precisely the same way as external phenomena in that they appear to be truly existent. A feeling, an emotion appears, a mind, a consciousness appears to be truly existent when it's the object. But just like the external phenomenon, when it's investigated, when it's sought out to see if it exists in the way that it appears, it does not exist. It does not exist. It does not exist in the way that it appears at all. So therefore, mind itself is naturally free from the extreme of fabrications. So firstly, the term fabrications can be understood in several ways. It can be translated, first of all, as fabrication, or elaboration, or superimposition, or mental construct. Whichever you're more comfortable with, fabrication, superimposition, mental construct, elaboration. Here, mind is free of that. And the way we'd usually express it is it's free of existing inherently, free of true existence. So that's how we can understand fabrication here. It means having a fabrication or a superimposition placed onto the object. Because what is not being said is that phenomena don't exist at all. This you haven't heard yet. This has not been said because that's not the case. What doesn't exist is phenomena existing in the way they appear, as truly or inherently or self-existently. Phenomena do not exist in this way. But they do exist as dependencies, as dependent arisings, dependent on causes and conditions and imputation. So phenomena do exist, but they're not self-existent. They're dependent arisings. So therefore, again looking at the second line, mind is free from the extremes of fabrications. Mind is naturally free from inherent existence, true existence, such as all phenomena. No phenomenon exists in this way. And the term extremes then we can understand to meaning extreme, free of the extreme of nihilism, free from the extreme of eternalism, or that can be expressed in different ways. The extreme of existence, the extreme of eternalism, the extreme of reification. So mind is free from that extreme, as well as the extreme on the other end, that of nihilism or non-existence. Mind is free, all phenomena are free of these.
ane rangi ngone tuwa yomare sene gombiki dinigi jebaje rangone matuba topiki lodi da tonyo tobe sharap chagore ndi gaze gombaine ndi gombiki ana zuki deshi timu tenzin di ane rangone tuba zimba di nipa chung tangore ondus gomba la tene nipa chung tangorwa dine za janju semba namki dinigi jebaje je ane songjin niga temba matuba gom je du gomne ne ju gomgores dine gomyo da tu 제도블라 주 지기 샤베네 안주 나주 유간의 통송베네 나의 차상야 디차상 나와나시 랑원의 주바 자와기 며 선백의 삼로디 직 고라신기 돈기 기고래 제로와
다른 세간이봐.
네.
As one reflects on the meaning here, hopefully it becomes clear that what it means is that every object that appears to our mind, again, whether it's an external object, something that we see, smell, taste, touch, or hear, like such as speech, it appears in a particular way, but doesn't exist in that way. So too with inner objects, such as our thoughts, our feelings. They all appear as true, as real. It's being self-existent, but they too do not exist in this way. And as we reflect on this ever more, then our ignorance that grasps at the object as existing in the way that it appears starts to weaken. Our ignorance that grasps at phenomena as existing inherently or truly or being self-existent weakens. And this comes about in dependence on developing ever more habituation to this mind of wisdom, to coming to understand how phenomena exist, which is not in the way they appear, but dependently. So here, this again, as with all objects of meditation, is habituation. As we develop habituation to the correct way, the way that's in accordance with the reality, relating to phenomena in the way that they do exist, and not how they do not exist, our ignorance weakens, coming to see that phenomena appear to us in a particular way, but do not exist in this way. And as this understanding, this conviction grows stronger, our grasping at them as existing truly or being self-existent, that proportionately weakens.
이라미지 게세 라리인세데 제가 dinyi shine 세데 송진기 송화다 진반이가 최내 랑경원이 마주바 是大神级别是랑원이 마주바 랑원이 주변 동반이디 shine 안에 지권배 왕게 고묘도 안에 야 안에 지가저기 유 치료 유단 간에 통배네 어다지 쳐서 다 나와나 규만하지면 뭐라통 마도 랑원이 주바 자와기 매 선비기 되게 나와 우두시네 삼론하는 되는 식의 용거래서 지난 제주선바 남기 계세 제주선바는 냠는 두스는 거래지래.
Continuing with the second couplet of lines, understanding this, not engaging with the inherent signs of apprehend and apprehended, is the practice of bodhisattvas. So first, understanding this, what is being understood here by the bodhisattva is that, firstly, how the bodhisattva is coming to understand in what way or how phenomena appear to the mind of the bodhisattva, to her mind, she sees that phenomena appear, whether it's outer or inner phenomena, they appear to be true, to be real, to be self-existent. Again, whether it's an outer phenomenon or an inner phenomenon, it appears to be truly existent. She's coming to realize, though, through analysis and investigation, that whatever appears to her mind does not exist in this way. No phenomenon exists in the way that it appears, but is rather empty of existing in the way that it appears. To express that differently, no phenomena exists truly or inherently or self-existently, which is how it appears, but is empty of existing truly, inherently, self-existently, which is the way that it appears, whether the phenomenon is outer or inner. And this, meditating on this, is the practice of bodhisattvas.
Nyoma Chinanga Che Rashing Juba Zimbi, Temple Juba Zimbi, Di Wangeda, Nyomote, Di Wangeda, Duashaki, Kondroki, then Nyomo Batumeba, then Lesa, then Dunga Batuma, Yongu, Semjen Lia, Semjen Digi, Dunga Yonga, Kutinich Yongo, that Ninji, Sambega, then Digi Lo no Tuki Cheso Son Chene, and the Chigi Lagam Drama Chene, and Digi, and Chigi, Jegu, Dunga Batumeba, Yongu Shadows, then Digi Ninji, Sembe Ninji.
Bodhisattva comes to realize this first in relation to herself, seeing that this is her own mental process, how phenomena appear to her mind, and how her mind then reacts to that, believing in this appearance, grasping at it, and recognizing that this ignorance of self-grasping or true grasping or grasping at inherent existence, this is the cause from which all the other afflictions arise, such as attachment and anger and pride and jealousy, all arise from this ignorance. And from these afflictions comes suffering. All the sufferings in the realms of samsara come from this cause. Recognizing this in relation to herself, she then applies it to the situation of all suffering beings, realizing that this is the situation for all suffering sentient beings, the vast majority of whom have no idea, and they therefore remain in this confusion, this darkness of ignorance, believing that phenomena do exist in the way they appear, and therefore they justify their anger, they justify their attachment, believe the deceit of their attachment, and continue to suffer and create ever further causes for suffering. Thinking like this, the compassion that she has already generated for others grows ever stronger within her.
다 전주 선반남게 두스네 냠는 나와 능거레 제자 되네 자데 딜레티네 베텔레티네 가라주이네 당가라주이네 다 텐세 마리바티 원게 제수 소아치 두숨기 원게 가서 녀모 라자 니가 미데와게 동아용그레 디네 장가라주이메네 다디 빵고바 인자 다체 간시네 라라 나와나시 자위네 요마레 선비 삼로체 다야다 안디 토네 라라 나와나시 두에 민도 간시도세 제바체하게 안 디니기 동반이 또아비게 돈달이야네 기비신이 대야다 디게 라미 제 깔로 손샤바텔레 니 야네 돈이 있고 야네야도 퇴야 이 된들 야네야도 삼다야 되네 삼다지 된다디 하고 데 고미야 도시네 베주체 오래서 오래 되네 제바이나 당하서 있네 녀모바디 빠야래야 안 도시 전시사 바람디 냠네 나와나지 가서 냠네 나 제도 그래서 오래
Gomgyaptang tata de ni yamana sumpingpe de yukandes nangere de nangwa de kyun yume takchuche de sumpa de tendril de kola chikang
tende gishime de 퇴바지 오래지래
To us as aspirants to the bodhisattva paths, the way that we should relate to this training is that seeing that our role models, the bodhisattvas, have trained and are training like this, we too should do the same. We should firstly come to understand the grave danger that the afflictions pose to us, and not only to us, to all sentient beings. Because it's these afflictive minds of ignorance, attachment, anger, and so forth that are the true enemies, the causes of all our pain and suffering. And at the root of all of these is this poison of ignorance. And here we've heard that it's this particular ignorance that is the root cause of all suffering. It's the ignorance of true grasping, or the ignorance of self-grasping. But we should now, having recognized this, train like a bodhisattva, first coming to see how all phenomena, whether outer or inner phenomena, appear to the mind. Seeing how the phenomena appear, investigate to see if it exists in this way or not. And in order to come to gain realization here, we make, especially as beginners, but to emulate an example of the bodhisattvas in the world, we make heartfelt prayers to our lamas, to the three jewels for blessings, for encouragement, for perseverance, blessings for perseverance, and blessings to receive their teachings, to be skillful in the reflections on these teachings, so that we can come to see with clarity how phenomena appear and investigate with ever greater skill as to whether phenomena exist in this way or not. So here we turn to our lamas for blessings, to receive their teachings, to reflect skillfully on their teachings. And this is how we should train, just like bodhisattvas.
다 되네게 당한저 다 차바기위 되네게 유의 통마이나 안 될이야 안 지금 삼나간에 땅고래서 디고 마셔야래.
Now continuing, we come to see how a bodhisattva skillfully deals when an object appears to them and attachment arises towards that object.
차바기 유의 신바 신자 방고래서 그러와 되네자다 되는 마치디래 이도 유단 태바나 여기 뒤게 자춘신 지신도 자브라나야 덴브르 미타신 신자 봉와께서 라레인스.
So we come now to the 23rd practice of bodhisattvas, which is abandoning clinging to objects of attachment. When encountering attractive objects, just like a rainbow in the summer sky, see all beautiful appearances as also lacking true existence. Abandoning clinging attachment is the practice of bodhisattvas.
다 이동 유단 태바나 야기 제순신도 시디 가르소고르스네 나 제브라나야 덴브르미다신 시디 가르소고르스네 다 가실레 가주 유 이동와 제시 이동외기 당한 쪽에 잘라이나다 강바이나다 서지나다 안능한 쪽에 미나다 대배닝 제바 이동와 되네 통원도 나서 남사 델이야 안에 지게 차바기 나서 배 나와 나시 안에 가서 덴바르 나서 로라 나이 디스에 나이도 배 닝지보다 디스 지기 닝지보다 게 순나이도 닝지보 강래 마도 랑원이 주버 있는 거래 진짜 나와 나신 델이야 안에 디치 델이야 아니 차바기 누스제와 용고로 와서 주기라 진짜 되네 용고여봐서 안 되네기 나이도 깔라 가르산 땅고라서네 되네기 유이동와 되네기 이 가른 나와이네 나와 나시도 따에도 나와 나신지 랑글로라 나와 나신지 자오기는 요 말에스 배나 열기 뒤기 제순신 시도 진짜 열기 갑려야 니마도 다 차바십시 자위도 바나래 제춘 마샤고 그랬어 진짜 샤용도 대소 유긴 가르된 리고스네 니메 외당 차바 십십게비기 델레테네 긴 델레테네 안에 제춘지 만서 낭그레 마도 유된 겐 간라이 마도 랑문에 되네게 간라이 마도 바데네 제춘 샤야 민두와스 안디나신 가르를 지게 이동와 제비유 가레 나웨 있나요 거 가서 로려야 류파 낭점마도 랑군원에 강라이 마도 랑군이 주비기 나 되네게 제비유지 요 말에 삼제 어두신의 삼당 보래지래 지금 숨된 이게 념도 저 이도 유단 태반 야기 제선 신도 야기 뒤게 제선 지신도 제발 나야 템프르미다 지선 나와 나신 나 랑군원에 주비기 템퍼주바스 주비 나와도 요 말 랑군에 주바 나와 나신지 요 말에서.
So let's look then at the first three lines here. when encountering attractive objects, just like a rainbow in the summer sky, see all beautiful appearances as also lacking true existence. What we heard then in the previous training is that every phenomenon, whether an outer or an inner object, appears to our mind as being truly existent. Every phenomenon. So when an object appears to our mind, it appears as truly existent, and amongst these appearances, some of those objects also, or many of those objects, appear to us as being attractive. So whether we think of a beautiful a natural environment, someone's home, individual people, objects, whatever outer or inner phenomena appear as attractive to us, does so spontaneously, readily, because the phenomena already spontaneously appears to us as being truly existent, and also many of them appear as having the characteristic of being attractive, and that characteristic of attractiveness too appears as truly existent. So the way, as we see in the third line, to relate to all such beautiful appearances is to relate to them as we do to a beautiful rainbow in the summer sky. The rainbow in the summer sky is an object that appears to us as being truly existent. Its beauty also appears to be truly existent. But we all know that a rainbow has come about in dependence on causes and conditions. This is widely known, there's no doubt about this. We just need to remind ourselves that it's only because of the precise proportions of light and moisture this object has appeared in the sky. And because of a variety of our own causes, we perceive it as being beautiful. So therefore, the appearance of the object appearing is dependent on causes and conditions. Our belief in it as being attractive or beautiful, this too is a dependence on causes and conditions. So in the same way then, as we think I can relate to a rainbow in this way, we should do to all beautiful appearances, everything that we relate to as attractive, whether an outer or inner phenomenon, we should relate to in exactly this way.
Garis nawa ine chenju semba namgi deniki nawa di nawa nashi rangongon de tuba zawa kini me dashin jibe chena gaya nye me dongsang chima to me a samje deniki gomba dongba ye sam danje deni za ane ya deniki yuga ne nawa ine dele ya shencha gigyo ma re jere shencha bongwa gese la le yin se de chena chenju semba namgi an desole ya ganis nawa dele shencha gigyo ma chena shencha bonggo res.
What has just been described here is the practice of bodhisattva. This is how bodhisattvas practice. And they do so, as we see in the final line, to abandon clinging attachment. Abandoning clinging attachment is the practice of bodhisattva. So we should do exactly the same as a bodhisattva. Everything that appears to us as being attractive, as beautiful, as pleasant, whether an outer phenomena or an inner phenomena, such as a particular mind or view, opinion, whatever appears to us as beautiful and attractive, remind ourselves, doesn't exist in the way that it appears. It's a dependency, it's a dependent arising. It is empty of existing in the way that it appears. And in this way, our clinging attachment, our desirous attachment, starts to weaken, and eventually we'll eliminate it.
Dene inza da janju semba namji dus nyamlen dene ki nawa inza da ngaro zui ne an dik sikshi diki nyamlen ngaro zui da labji lengyo de karasene janju semba namji dene nawa na shin nyamlen nawa na da ngaro zui ne ngaro zui ya jik yu zebi yu da chakwa ge yu da jik medo da kare ine jik ya tong de ka chakwa ge yu ina 안델 양아서 가르섬 땅으로서 오다디 나와나 신직다 말래 나와나 신직 거제바 지나 자오기는 예매아 선배에서 가 루추와래야 나자마도 나와나 신 지그란 거뭐네 주도 개인기 되니기 제하고 인지고 교육이네 줘야 맞게 규단 깨가라 맞게 되니기 제바 자오기는 매아 선배게 언두스네 아주 두스네 델이야 두섬 땅에 안델이야 잡게 방고래 제대 되니자 Bendigo Samdavane, Denigi Chapaki, huge Thogme, Deliana, Shenchaki to Maraki marches and do some dangoles or.
Again, we need to emulate our role models here and train just like them. In our meditation, we reflect on what we find desirable, starting with outer objects, because they're easiest to understand, and then also moving to inner objects. Investigating, does the object exist in the way that it appears? How does it appear? Does it exist in this way? Coming to see that it does not. Moreover, the aspect of the object that we find so desirable, does that exist in the way that it appears? In this way, through training repeatedly over a sustained period, we'll come to see that objects do not exist in the way they appear, and nor is the characteristic of attractiveness inherently existent either. That too is a dependency. And through training this way repeatedly over a sustained period, our attachment doesn't arise so readily, and when it does, it's not so powerful nor abide so long. So therefore, we need to train just like bodhisattvas here. If we're looking at the practice of bodhisattvas relating to ignorance, and in particular thereafter to their relating to objects of attachment, of desire, now to come to the objects of anger and frustration and annoyance, let's look at then how bodhisattvas deal with this. Practice 24. Suffering in its variety of guises arises like the death of a child in a dream. Holding mistaken appearances to be true leaves me wary. Therefore, when encountering adverse circumstances, seeing them as mistaken is the practice of bodhisattvas. Jizanda Janju Sembanam Delia, Deniki Dungalia, Samukan Yaman Yamlinganes Nawari Lamna, Dungaki, Kiando Kanangorasene. Milam Bushitara Sidors, Chesa Milam Laya, Manzugi, Chige, Puyo Bache, Milam Toy, the Soso Pupe, Injiwa Yawot, Shuchi Bache, that's also Gitawa Shushi Goddess, Milam Tongorta, Milam Narua, Jiniki, Milam Din, Milam Nalia, the Pudi Shison, Dangazola, Semjepe, Semje, Shujungruada, Semji Zigor, Nilam Nalia, Taking Pushis on Semji Chigora Chile. The Nilam Nalia, Pu Ninjuche, Soso Gitawa Shuche, Dima Shison, Anzolia, Semje Ganga Shungores. Chisa, Tani Seje, Jebachi or do. The Niki Nilamgi, Pudi, Yomare, she Yomare, Yoko Yomare, Yemenishi Yomarwa. Chisa, the Niki Meva Chiglia, no true charging, Anzuki, the Niki, Semje Chevati. And no true charge, just a boom, Meva Chiglia, you ought to say Shiva, some da, Deniki, Semje Chevan, no true. Just Gabriel, the Nilam Nalia, didn't talk to Nila Nisi on the guy, and similar Maki, but Gangar, the same Mati Maki Yungurua. Denise, this will no true, yes, just that you know Yomar was, Meva Chiglia, Anzuki, Deniki, Semje Chena, and Pandos Yomares. Dina Shinda, Mazulia, Ganga, Kaneshi Yoba in the Janju Sembanam Denike Ganga Digi, Patashan Jena, Nawana, Shin Ganga Dues, Gudan King Gala Matu, Rangung, Hine Ganga Chungur, and Deniki Zaonia Maris Mindus, just not Deniki to Ganga Nagidu, Tagidu, Ganga to Secheba, Cheba, Denekanga Digi, Gudan King Gala Matu, Rangung, Drup to Higgin Jig, that's our Guinea Mindua, Sambeke, on Duschen Congo Regere, what Dungatiki Chasa, Rashi Matuba Congo Regere. And there's one life we've all experienced so many problems and difficulties and frustrations and sufferings. And this practice of bodhisattvas here is how to skillfully deal with these. So if we think of, for example, if one is struck down by an illness, whether it's something minor like a severe headache or something much more severe, immediately we suffer because of this illness, and we may even if it's something minor, get frustrated that we now cannot accomplish what we hope to achieve. Our hopes have been frustrated because we now temporarily ill. And certainly we suffer if this illness is grave. And then fear will come, anger rises, etc. and so forth. So this is the case with illnesses and all unwanted situations. We have experience of this. These things happen to bodhisattvas too. The difference between us and bodhisattvas is how they deal with it. So bodhisattva, having trained well through all these preceding practices, will deal with these situations, seeing them as being illusory, as being dreamlike. So they'll relate to them in dependence on all this prior training, knowing that whatever appears to the mind appears in a particular way, but doesn't exist in this way. And they will relate to it, as we see here in the first line. Suffering in its variety of guises arises like the death of a child in a dream. If one has a dream about one's child, one will almost certainly create love and affection will arise in the dream for one's child. So one will experience these emotions of love and affection for one's child. But then, in our dream, should our child die, immediately great suffering arises. Pain arises within us. And if we were to wake up from such a dream, our mind would be deeply disturbed. We would be suffering. But our child has not passed. Our child has not died. Our child may not even be ill at all. So this suffering that we are experiencing now when we wake up has come about in dependence on believing that a particular object, our child, our dream child, as well as the object of the illness in the dream, exists in the way that it appears, when it so clearly does not. We do not have a dream child, and our dream child was never ill. There was no illness, there was no child. Or to express that differently, there was no child that existed in the way that it appeared in that dream. There was no illness that existed in the way that it appeared in that dream. Therefore, the object is clearly mistaken. The consciousness that grasped at it as existing in the way that it appeared was clearly a wrong consciousness, clearly a mistaken consciousness. And therefore, in dependence on this wrong consciousness, all these disturbing emotions have arisen within us. So if we reflect like this, we can clearly see the foolishness of believing that something exists when it does not exist in the way that it appears, because of all the resulting emotions. Through the Bodhisattva's successful training in this, all the sufferings that appear to them, that appear to their mind, all the objects that appear to the mind they know are dreamlike, are illusory, like in a dream, and therefore any grasping at that is mistaken. This is how bodhisattvas relate to such experiences.
That's ibadile chunang dimbar sunwe atangches. That Thoma me ko Thoma me ba ne dadi bardo nga zulya anje tongni ma do bardo tongni le jeba che tongba ni ma do bardo nga zulya de ni chu dimbar tuba dipene yu jebi ki karina chi chasa na yu 강나 말 랑무도 베두가 나와 나신지 진진에 대다라 요래서 진지 다 동반이 되마도 봐도 되게 진지 되고 그래서 제가 되게 진 되고 그래서 주에 아당체스 진진에 깔래 하소사지 내가 저 내가도 그 말지에 제제 내가 담기네면 제 내가 그 무디지 내가 쇼 제대로 한 탕체 깔래 쇼 거기로 와 탕치기로 와 어디 나시 코 토마메 바네 다제 벌도 진 랑무도 봐 나와 나시 다가라 진지 then dizzy, Digi Jesu Draje, Durchaja, Controje, Lianga Basa, Denegi, Ranganga, Shenganga, then Dunga Batum of Yongo Tinisha, at the tongue chairs on the Adan Shevan, Galekavaris. So I give him in the sword, that tongue chairs said, Adan says at the Negi, that so I give him a chit that Dibber do sin how to go regile.
Suffering in its variety of guises arises like the death of a child in a dream. Holding mistaken appearances to be true leaves me wary. So here, either the bodhisattva or the aspirant bodhisattva who has come to understand this process but he has not yet realized emptiness directly. They see how all phenomena appear, they have a clear understanding that phenomena appear to them as being truly existent, and they spontaneously grasp at phenomena as existing truly. And through this grasping at true existence, this ignorance that grasps at true existence, that grasps at phenomena as existing in the way that they appear, when they so clearly now do not, all these other afflictions, these suffering minds, such as anger and jealousy, pride, spite, resentment, all of them come. The bodhisattva now, or the aspirant bodhisattva, is exhausted by this process. They haven't yet eliminated, they haven't broken this wheel. This cycle of samsara is yet to be broken. They desire that, they have yet to do so. But they are exhausted by this process, seeing that this is what has kept them bound in samsara for so long, and until this wheel of suffering is destroyed, this process is eliminated, they will remain a samsaric being, trapped in the bounds of samsara. So this long-held process, this process that has held them bound for so long, has left them exhausted.
탕체 라디 저기 레갈 당보 수부들 옆에 슈다 뉴바다 슈슈베나 탕부 수부 탕부라 그러고 탕부 뉴바다 슈야고다 탕부라 그러고 진짜 레가페 레가 깔레 방고 깔레 망고 자한테 되네기 탕부디 뉴바를 마선 조전베 교차려로다 탕체서 탕디 내지 뉴바 슈다 뉴바디 메바 차바래 체바래서 메바 차제 아니 배 수부 마선 깔레가 교부 슈차려로다 진짜 디날 탕체를 샘전디게 동반이 내수 하모헌 샘전디게 코 지데 되네기 소설야 유 되네 나르도 될야 랑은 그래서 간래 떼바면 랑은 주바 나르도 되 나와가 진제네 디기 진제네 디기 덴진 디기 제소네 되샤 콩로 녀모바 제진 디기 직되네 동아녀야다 근데 지금 랑아신 이가 동아녀 콜 기회도 신 교슈차네 니 토네 안 되네기 진비기 토네 탕 체바는 수 체바나신다 배 교우를 샤서 그러다 된다래 교우를 샤서 그래 인지 유리 샤서 인지 유리 샤서 그래.
To be clear here, what the yogini is tied towards, the object that has left her exhausted and weary, is this process, not with regard to her endeavor, but with the cycle. We can think about when we start on an activity, whether a physical activity or when we need some other kind of activity, we tend to have quite some energy. But when this process goes on for a long time, we start to get worn out. We start to get exhausted. We get weary of from the situation, starting to think, it's never ending. And we're starting to feel exhausted with this situation. So this is the position that the bodhisattva is in, weary with this situation. We're exhausted by this delusion, this continued process. Her determination is not in any way weakened, but the situation she is fed up with and is determined to eliminate. and not just in relation to ourselves. She's great compassion is felt towards the objects of her compassion, sentient beings who are lost in the confusion of ignorance, who under the control of this ignorance of true grasping are still creating causes that lead to them suffering immediately, others suffering now, as well as causes that lead to suffering in life from life to life. So this whole perpetual cycle, with regard to this, she is exhausted.
다 대치를 미드인기 남체베세 추버 따와 게세 라리 시도 자주선바 남기 녀만에다 전주선 마기 녀레베네 두스냠네 나도 되니기 지게 강하다 되니기 안지 몽고 쳐야돼 갑라 안데스 가는 거스네 되니기 튠바 미딘 비긴 네 나자다 되니 강 몽고 쳐야돼 갑라 가르스 가 공부 시고스네 어디 나와 나시 강라에 마도 랑문이 두바 자와기네 메야세 데니게 나와디 로 추비기 나와를 마도 랑문이 두바 자와기네 메세베게다 두치네 추바 따와 추바 따고 데니기 삼비기 짐바디 로 추시 로시에 덴센샤고 진짜 자와기네 메세베게 추바 따야다 안 될이야 제가 데니기 킹에 중화디 규단 낀래 데니 중국어래 진짜 규단 낀 강라에 마도 랑문이 데니 중화 메바래 데니 여러 삼바디 로 추와레스 추와다 다 되는 중화대 가르려도 규단 깬래 되는 용거래자 되는 게시 용반은 규단 깬질래 되는 용거래 진짜 규단 깬질래 되는 용화자 디파마 세디야 규단 깬질래 됐어 투그레 선비게 뽑아기야다 되는 게 생기 뒤에야 깔래 걔나 아니 깔래 가도 어디 깔래 세디 규단 깬래 되는 용거 진짜 디 깔래 매봐서 규단 깬질래 된 세투그레 안주게 다내 나자로 보시나 가리네 지금 아주 강할세나 규단 깬질래 된 세투그레 선비게 다 셈래야 뽑아기고 그래지래대
So the bodhisattva in relation then to the aspirant bodhisattva, or the bodhisattva who is yet to realize emptiness, in relation to all the suffering he experiences or he observes, whether it's the suffering of illness or the suffering relating to the fear of illness. So for example, many people in the world at the moment are suffering from this pandemic. They may be infected by it, and therefore suffering, or they're suffering due to fear for it, or they're suffering due to their income being lost. So there's a lot of suffering relating to this pandemic in the world at the moment. So bodhisattva would be, in the reflection, would be aware that the objects of suffering, as well as the external object of suffering, as well as the inner object, the mind that is suffering, all of these appear to us as being truly existent, and therefore, and we as ordinary beings grasp at them as being truly existent, existing in the way they appear. But none of them, whether the external object or the inner object, for example, illness, or the fear of illness, or the suffering from illness. None of these exist in the way they appear. Rather, they are so they don't exist in the way they appear. They do exist, but not in the way they appear. They are existent, but how are they existent? Not truly or by their own self-nature, but they exist in dependence on causes and conditions. In other words, they have come about in dependence on causes and conditions, and therefore cannot be truly existent. And therefore, the consciousness that grasps at them as being truly existent is a wrong consciousness, or it's mistaken. So this understanding that all phenomena are dependent arisings, again, whether it's illness, or the suffering that illness produces, or the fear of illness, or the fear of loss of income, or the suffering of loss of income, all of these appear to our mind as truly existent, but are empty of being truly existent, but rather exist as dependencies, dependent on, for example, causes and conditions. So this point, that phenomena exist as dependencies, dependence on causes and conditions, when reflected on well, leads to great strength of mind arising in the bodhisattva. How so? If something has come about in dependence on causes and conditions, it's momentary, it's impermanent, it changes momentarily and will cease. Moreover, through the cultivation of the contrary causes, then such sufferings will not be experienced again. Because the contrary causes, when they are developed in a powerful way, it is those that will be experienced. So here, we're talking about either an aspirant bodhisattva or a bodhisattva. Such a being has a wide and expansive mind with a far-sighted outlook. So their mind is not grasping at this present moment, nor even this one life, but have a far more expansive outlook, seeing understanding with vivid clarity the life to life. So they're not grasping at this one life. Therefore, knowing that through cultivating, first knowing that any suffering that is experienced now is impermanent and will cease. Moreover, that being a dependency, the contrary causes can be cultivated. And this leads to great strength of mind for the bodhisattva.
Gari 공부 시월선 제가 최 간에서 나와이나 랑기 뭐니 주바 요 말때 다심진 데니기 함호환디 주기 나와나시 랑 뭐니 주바 진제 주바 나와나시 진 리왕게 달래사 녀모 동아 바도 메바 용 닝지 선배게 될야 탁바도 닝지 패다 제자다 탁바도 닝지 게요도 다심진기 동아디게 제자 규단健康来嘛对吧랑 뭐니 주바 메바 인자 제세디 규단 健了的是突破的제자데 데네 인자 니 데속에 심진디게 동아세야다 안디기 주야디게 안디 베주제제 안 세기 셈비게 안 될야 안 지기 세기 동아세야다 디기 주야래야 탁바도 안 지기 semshul tang bobo digi ndus chene yungore chele nje se bana mi dus chene chale nan gores.
These verses here present how a bodhisattva trains. And here we're seeing how the bodhisattva has come to realize that no phenomenon exists in the way that it appears, but is rather a dependent arising. So therefore, a phenomena is empty of existing truly, and the mind that believes, that grasps that it exists truly, is wrong consciousness. And that wrong consciousness too, when it becomes the object of meditation, it too does not exist truly. It too is a dependent arising, dependent on causes, through long habituation. Coming to realize this gives great strength of mind to the bodhisattva, because the bodhisattva knows liberation is possible. Because the cause of suffering, all the causes of suffering, particularly its root cause, are dependent arisings, and can therefore be eliminated through the cultivation of the opposing causes, minds that are in accordance with wisdom. First realization. So this, you can see from this realization what great strength comes to the bodhisattva's mind. Secondly, when they relate this to others, they see that beings are lost in the darkness of ignorance, lost in this confusion, not being able to see how phenomena actually exist, but believe that they exist in the way they appear, and therefore continuously create causes for their own suffering, despite desiring happiness, peace and freedom. Continue to create causes that will only lead to suffering. Therefore, compassion arises with great strength within the bodhisattva. But in dependence on their understanding of dependence arising, they know that all the suffering in the world has been produced dependently, come about in dependence on causes and conditions, and therefore being dependent on, having come about in dependence on causes and conditions, can be eliminated through the cultivation of the contrary causes. And now, under the power of this great strength of compassion that the bodhisattva feels, they make ever greater efforts in cultivating those contrary causes, those causes that will lead to happiness for beings. Through the power of their compassion, the bodhisattva has great mental strength and energy and vigor to strive to cultivate the causes that will lead to happiness for beings. So therefore we see that the wisdom leads to great strength of mind for the bodhisattva, and their compassion for suffering beings. This too is a powerful mind and leads to great strength to the bodhisattva.
다 전주선반은 유도스진의 냠내 나와레스 제상 디니 장안 주인에 다데 직지 될라 때네 하나 주게 랍지 랭과데 가르 랍나 소설야 아니 강아를 디니기 내 나살라 소바다 현재 강아 제발로서 디니게 강아 먹고 리언도 갈래 당아 강아도 세베 심파심 지게 바 뽑아되기 바 줌제 근데 두시네 교고 휴지 되나 아니 경험하고 그래서 진짜 디니게 스마sam바체 진짜 디니기 강아지게 차사 동화야제 유단 견치를 때는 용어마도 유단 견 강라면바데 땡땡 중요 말에 신앙주의 되는 삼다야다 진짜 유단 견치를 때는 용어인자 유단 견딜 때는 용어자 디메바서야 돼 유단 견치를 때메바서 투브레 제자데 미 동화세야다 강아세 투야 되기데 미 유단 견을 때는 안직 토시시는 메바서 투브레 선배게 뽑아야다 진짜 다 유단 견을 때는 메바서야 되는 수고래서는 제상 하나 주기 가르치는 강아지 간의 용어스네 아주게 릉아 예숨기 토네 안데 지게 아주게 데이터를 이거 되네 인상 아주 릉아 예숨 예죄된 비 수름 써야다 안지 진배냐는 제바 안데 지게 제야다 되네 지금 류기 나자다 되네 용어스 용어지 아주게 면죄 제야다 안데 류제 제야다 어디네 탑시 제야다 도시네 도스 베제 땅제네 소소 강아 세고리에지마도 되네게 보숑제 되어 말이지. 근데 미생기 소설이야 강아제야의 디토의 용배네 대래 샬야 니지고미하다. 쇠보고미하다. 도스공부래. 디네 공부에는 쇠베냐면제 샬야 니지곰 한 잠제 제바 있나? 안데 아주 강아지게 세로 그래. 제가 셈 마키바 강아지게 세야다. 디네 용구래. 제가 디네 인상을 저기 봄마숑바제 도스진의 잠제냐면 류가에서 예제되면 수tum이 냠len 안에 쇠베 냠len 안 도스제 냠len 제고레스 안 디마제 안 지금 소수가 트레딩이 토네 면제제야다 디니 토네 안 그래서 지강아 세고레스 마도 강아도 쉬우도 신파셈 shum 되네 안데 갈래 태와 갈래 동어유베질 강아 태와셔야마도 판도가요 말해서 그러다 나 전주선 만남 비님만 냠len 디네 나와래 가서에 디나시 제고레스
We too should train just like all these great bodhisattvas in the world, and train just like they did right now. We have this opportunity of this retreat. We can observe so much suffering in the world. We need to utilize these opportunities well to generate minds of great virtue within us. And we need to then relate to the sufferings that we experience as well as the sufferings that we observe others experiencing in exactly the way that bodhisattvas do. Not in the way that ordinary beings do, which is to become overwhelmed by their afflictions, getting angry or getting frustrated and annoyed, or their mind becoming weak and dispirited, lost in despair. This is not the way a bodhisattva responds. So we need to respond just like a bodhisattva. Reflect firstly that no phenomenon exists in the way that it appears. No phenomenon, without or inner. Rather, phenomena come about in dependence on causes and conditions, and imputation by mind. And as phenomena, whether outer conditions such as this pandemic, or inner conditions such as the suffering that we experience when ill, or the suffering that we experience for the fear of illness, or the loss of livelihood, all of these come about in dependence on causes and conditions. Therefore, they will cease. Therefore, and because they will cease, we have no need to grasp at them tightly. But moreover, because they are dependencies. Through cultivating the contrary causes, we can eliminate them. Perhaps in the short term, certainly in the long term. Generating a wide and expansive outlook like a bodhisattva does. We then commit to, firstly, to not being overcome by minds of ignorance, such as the afflictions, becoming weak and dispirited and upset, but rather through knowing that we, through accumulating the contrary causes, can transform ourselves and thereby have a meaningful impact on others. So this gives great strength of mind, and we commit to apply our way of thinking and our resulting physical activities and speech to virtue, ensuring that our mind stays virtue, is ensuring our mind is restrained with ethics and thereby our behavior. Ensuring our mind is one of generosity, wanting to be of benefit to others, offering support to others, whether if we have the opportunity to make donations or to care for those who are ill, or through the dedication of our merit. We do so, we help in accordance with our ability. Moreover, we commit to being patient in the face of any adversity, whether it's difficulties faced with in our own practice, or our own inner turmoil, such as our afflictions arising, or in dealing with others. We commit to cultivating love and compassion for others, and we do so, striving to do so. And as we apply our mind ever more to virtue, we experience ever more happiness, as well as strength of mind. So here, if we train like this, like a bodhisattva, first we cultivate wisdom, secondly we use that wisdom to apply ourselves to virtue, such as the practices of the perfections, including compassion for suffering beings. And in this way, we see that we can be of benefit to others. We can transform our own suffering and thereby have a positive impact on others, if we can, directly, otherwise indirectly, through offering our merit to them. So this is how we see how we, no matter how ordinary we are, can practice with a union of wisdom and compassion and serve others. We will no longer, through practicing in this way, we'll no longer be overwhelmed by suffering. Our mind will no longer become weak and dispirited, but those same situations we can transform into wisdom and compassion. And in this way, we can be of great benefit to others.
다딘마 슈에디 전주 semba 남기 당서 80주기 냠len 가니스 나와레 세지디 나다데 시거레다 디니자 당보 다 진비 냠len기 고 대시야데.
Now the texts come on to the actual practices of bodhisattvas, the 6 perfections, which start with that of generosity.
that's it. 장슈 되베 류견 땅고에나 치료응오보 남라 뭐지고 대치를나 내민 미래비 진보동와 계세라리스.
The 25th practice. Since those longing for enlightenment must offer even their body, there can be no question about giving of worldly possessions. Therefore, with no thought of karmic fruition or reward, giving out of generosity is the practice of bodhisattvas.
전주 semban남기 진비 냠는 가네스 나와레스네 다지소라 장추 되베 류견 땅고에나 치료응오보 남라 뭐지고에 시데 먼저 심전 탐제 동화세 다 심전 탐제 디기 주에 주고도 제산디 심전 탐제 동화세 디기 주에게 심전에 펜바 개춤을 주발라 상예 고반 토고리 상예 고반 마토한테 답이요 말에 세데 장추 되베서 제산다 상예 고반 토고리 상예 고반 토발라 저기 제비 류디게네 셴리야 아니 제 진바다야다 셴기 동화세야다 디기 주베 돈달라 저기 셴 류디게네 셴리야 아니 땅고 고레스 세상 셴기 류랑라 다랑기 제바데 자치쇼데 랑 류디레스 지난데 류디 땅고네 치료 용어보 소수기 유 벤줄 되게 잘라디게데 인데 인스테데 땅고로 와서 그렇다 지난 되네 인자 류 lojong gari na chasanga strowa semjen ki dunga se den digi tubele ya ana tangu gores chesa denigi dusine samna tangu gore jere
See here in the first two lines, since those longing for enlightenment must offer even their body, there can be no question about the giving of worldly possessions. So here, the Bodhisattva has generated the wish to be of greatest benefit to others, having come to see their great kindness and being intent on repaying that kindness, seeing it as their personal responsibility, and therefore have committed, or thereby have committed, to strive for enlightenment, to become the most skilled of beings in guiding beings, most skilled of beings in terms of capacity and skill to guide others how to accumulate the causes for happiness and eliminate the causes for suffering. So with this strong intention, nothing else matters but to become a Buddha for the sake of others. And in order to become a Buddha for the sake of others, the Bodhisattva now, right now, acts under their love and compassion to benefit beings in any way they can, but in accordance with their capacity. So the great Bodhisattvas, they will even give their body to others. And they will do so wishing to repay their kindness in any way they can. They'll even give their bodies. Ordinary Bodhisattvas will follow that example too, but not through giving their bodies, giving their worldly possessions, knowing that every good quality that they have, whether material or inner, has come about in dependence on the kindness of others, and with the strong wish to repay the kindness of others, will act in accordance with their abilities to repay that kindness, offering their worldly possessions, for example, to others.
나는 전주sem바는 게 진박하는 거를 랍나 대체 렌나 내민 미래비 진박동와 계세라리 시제 지난 대해 치르스도 산조 고방 토비치도 류롱조 차상 땅고고변에 되네 땅 왜냐면 나는 그래서 땅 거를라나 렌다 내민 미래와서 렌스디 소수기 파다 바이네 부디네 제베이네 안출레 소미 되네 시간 소리야 지기 라기 지체 파디니 따베네 출레 되네 샤기레 셈피기 렌 라야리아 라와메바 아데니기 군에 삼당고 말레스 소소리 파다야데 류롱조 샹다 카레 따베네 샹다이 전 출라야레 니 디따지 출라야 삼기네 땡고 말레체레 지자다나 샹다즈네 라와 삼마다베네 소소기 짐바따지 디디 짐베 디부 제와 치말야 안지기 귤 너롱조 야고쇼야기 디 제부 네미 제부 야고야 레와 데니 삼당고에서 니야 땡고 말레스 지자 전주sem바 남기 소소기 류롱조 소수기 개화 사십에 개화 차상 현리야 등고래서 지자 다야디 소수기 현기 추슬을 렌라야 되네게 레와잖아 교메 디천 내명이 대부 망어번에 규변줘야 되네게 레와자기네 요 말해서 매바체 현리에 팬바던 현기 디기주비야 코네치도 두스탄고래제 대체 렌나는 미래와 진보동와 계세라리 인시데 진이게 다야디 전주sem바는 그 소수기 류롱주 개화 소수기 쇠남 사십에 개화 차상 현리야 등고래 뒤땅와디야 심진 디기 주변의 동화세야 코니 치도마도 소수라랑 망어바나니 뒤땅와래 되네 아니 즉 똑바야 쳐줘야다 아니 되네게 땅와되네 내명이 되고 류롱주 첨부 차야다 아니 되네게 땅와래 되네 현이 소소리야 아드코 야고 지금 좀 출래 레 야고라야 된다라 담년다 된다 싸우기는 삼려 말 마다 매와지 현 디기 주야다 현기 안에 강아세야 디기 주야 코니 치도 땅 고래세래.
So how does a bodhisattva act? So here we see in the third and fourth line, when they're practicing generosity, when they're giving out of generosity, they do so with no thought of karmic fruition or reward. This is how bodhisattvas practice, and this is our example. Bodhisattvas, knowing that everything that they have, whether it's their own inner good qualities or material resources or their virtue, has come about in dependence on the kindness of others, these others who they have committed under the control of love and compassion to repay that kindness. So knowing that all that they have is only due to the kindness of others, they will utilize this in the most skillful way to repay that kindness. And when repaying that kindness, they will do so free of the self-cherishing mind, guarding against any trace of the self-cherishing mind. They'll make sure they are not practicing generosity with any form of self-interest. So they will not be helping others with any hope for a smile or a thank you in return. So they're not thinking of any reward for themselves in this life, nor in future lives. They are not helping others with hope. Oh, through this karma, I experience a great wealth in future lives. They're not. They're practicing generosity devoid of any self-interest in relation to this or future lives. Rather, they are motivated solely to alleviate the suffering of others. To alleviate the suffering of others, both in a mundane sense, a worldly sense, their temporary suffering, as well as in the extraordinary sense of wanting to help others accumulate the causes that will lead to their own achievement of enlightenment. So this is how bodhisattvas practice generosity, devoid of any thought of self-interest in relation to this or future lives, but wanting to benefit beings, wanting beings to benefit and be alleviated of suffering in this and future lives.
다다 차고 세나 방투고 말 디가서는 총차고와다 총로스로 치파는 총로도 무파데 잘라 출링고와 디나싱아 저기 진배 냠는 진배 파당 소설야 담냐다 수용하는데 진배 파데 수 담냐다 녀바도 지바 차고와 디나시 당아 저기 진바다지 니 진바다지 안데 개와 치망아냐 지 변조야 뭐 튕겨야 뭐 요하게 제보들 저와제 당외네 다세나 방고 말 그래서네 네 저기 파다기 디테부시라기 된다던 거만 총대로 차르고와 되는 인자 세나 차사 방토로마 되는 인자당 산주고 보토발에 세나 방고래 세나 자고 마방발라 산주고 보토고마 산주 세나 방발라 다 랜다 제보다 되는 가야 삼에 버지 팬버 시한레 팬버 코니치도 삼는 디마도 당교 말해지 되는 시단 거래 진짜 전주 선바 남기 두스당 거야베디 곰 냠는 는 거래 되는 남고비 김재야 디레서 그래.
Firstly, I forgot to mention one thing, again I mentioned in the previous segment, which is that in offering all that they have to others to alleviate the suffering in this and future lives, bodhisattvas too offer their roots of virtue, the causes of happiness that they've striven so hard to accumulate. These too, without any sense of loss, they offer to others. And they offer to others because their motivating principle is for others to accumulate the causes that will lead to their enlightenment. So therefore, all the virtue that bodhisattvas have accumulated, they have accumulated for the sake of others, and now with sincerity they offer it to others with a sincere wish. May this ripen and they continue. And now moreover, let's just mention now, is that bodhisattvas, having vivid clarity of the dangers of their afflictions, they ensure that no trace of the self-cherishing mind impedes their practice, including the expression of the self-cherishing mind, which is the affliction of miserliness. Because it's miserliness that holds us ordinary beings back from sincerely practicing generosity. Because when we, who are still under the influence of an affliction such as miserliness, offer help to others, whether it's material help or friendship or assistance in some way, with this mind of miserliness, either we hold back what we don't really want to give away, or we give but expect something in return, whether it's gratitude, help in the future, appreciation, a smile, a thank you, or a hope for karmic reward in our future lives. This is an expression of miserliness. So miserliness serves to prevent us from practicing generosity or pollutes our practice of generosity. Bodhisattvas, knowing the great danger of the afflictions, ensure that miserliness is absent from their continuum.
다 장수 선반남기 두스 냠린는 거래. 되네 냠린데 나와데 야고 용하데 냠마 장수 선마게 녀래네 되니기 진바다야 냠네 삼로난 파 지루 롱저 차상 파 당기나 선비게 야네 야도 장바체 장도를 대반자 야상지 장수 선 길레기 차두 냠린데네 나투고로 어베디나시 당하는 주의네 다 장수 선반남기 상주 고바 타바 류롱저 차상 아니 두스진의 진바당시 시행리 판비 디기 주야다 디기 주야다 동아세에 든 땅고 지산이 있네다 디디 나라이네 심지어 탐지기도 상유고바 토고디장이 있네다 류롱주 개와까지 이나 시행리야 바 땅기나 선배 신이 디기 주야다 신이 동아세에 든 땅기 삼제 삼로데 야네 야도 장고를 제 장고를 야네 야도 삼땅고를 니산 당한지 진벌에 따외네 서서히 담냐다 용야다 개와치만 안 변주야고 용야 된다 인심제 어디네선 마다와체 신기 디기 주야다 신이 동아세야리아 소수의 류 롱주 변주 소수의 개와차상 신래 땅기 선배 안주에 두신 셈래 다들 두신 고민이 하네 삼땅고 장도를 잡고 그래서 이나 다들 안주고 류샤상 땅투를 배선 땅투 말에 안주래 류땅에 누버요 말에 아니 안주고 변주 차상 신래 제투를 배선에 제투 말에 이나야 다들 삼로나래 두 장고 그래서 두세 장내 안에 강도 지도기 소수기다 변주한테 신래야 즉 건조를 최고 부야다 되네야 현 교주를 로제야다 강도 지도기 제야다 제제 안에 또 삼로나래 소 장고의 계침물에 장도를 제고래서 안주야 두스네 안데 니게 자야 안 지게 계획신연 전에 간에 장고도 되니게 남되셔야다 안 뒤지게 배제 디플로야다 소바 두스네 야네 야도 검제 장도를 제고의 계침물에서 당하서 납질해야 되리래
근데 대타마 계획신이 나다 배출로기에 대해서
근데 집에 냠는지다 간에 계획신연들 수도 계획신이 라그로 되네 삼당을 계획신연들 최바지냐다 안 배제 갭나로 되네 냠는 제거서 시시하로 디플로야다 디스고로 돼
In order to become a bodhisattva, all the bodhisattvas in the world, when they were aspirants, they repeatedly, over a sustained period, meditated on generosity and practiced generosity. And they did so knowing that this was one of the key causes that would ripen in the result of their development of bodhicitta itself. So therefore, we too should train in the same way as them. We should, in our meditation on generosity, develop this generous attitude, wanting to help others, wanting to alleviate their suffering, on the one hand, but combining this with the recognition that all that we have, our body, our possessions, our inner good qualities, our roots of virtue, have all come about in dependence on others. And therefore, we have an obligation to repay that kindness. And therefore, in our meditation, we imagine giving our body to others. We imagine and thereby giving our body to others, and thereby alleviating their suffering. Giving our possessions, all of our possessions to others, and thereby alleviating their suffering. Giving our root of virtue to others, enabling all our virtue to ripen on their continuum, and them to achieve enlightenment. And in our meditation, we be very careful not to come under the influence of miserliness with no hope of reward in this life or karmic fruition in our future lives. So we need to do this, but here, in this practice, is one key point that I want you to be very clear on. Here, we are aspirants to the bodhisattva paths. We are not Arya bodhisattvas. We are not even ordinary bodhisattvas. So for us, this is primarily a mental process. In particular, we should not give our body to others. Engage in this meditation, giving your body to others to alleviate their suffering. Imagine ways of doing so. Imagine giving all our wealth and others' suffering being alleviated, and thereby through having wealth they can have free time to meet the Dharma and to train their minds, etc. Do this in our meditation. Offer our virtue to them and our good qualities. This is a mental process. Through developing this mental process well within us, as well as developing our wisdom, then in between sessions we can give to others, give materially to others, give our body in the sense of giving service to others, but always in accordance with our ability. not giving everything that we own, giving our life, our actual body to others. That is mistaken. So therefore we do this as a meditation, accumulating virtue, and in accordance with our cultivation of wisdom, out of meditation, we do give to others, we do help others, but in accordance with our ability. And if our ability is quite limited, our physical practice, our physical expression of this meditation can just be offerings on our shrine. Or if that is difficult to do, it's just a visualization. If that is our capacity at this time, that is sufficient. What is imperative is not the physical expression, but the sincerity of the mind, the sincerity of the wish to ease the suffering and burden of others. And on this topic, there are many teachings that have been given and sections in texts composed, many beautiful texts about the visualizations that can be done. So I encourage you to read these, and where you continue to hear teachings on generosity, enact these in the way that I've briefly presented here. This afternoon then we'll continue with the next of the perfections, that of ethical restraint. So thank you very much.